Hey guys, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today, and thank you for your support. Today I'm going to be discussing the mono and the stereo of Chet Baker's 1959 album, Chet. I've donned a special Chet Baker t-shirt just to do this video. I'm usually in black, but if you know Chet's signature style, it's a white t-shirt. And you'll see dozens of pictures of him in his youth in the white t-shirt. So that is why you see me in white today. Before I get started, we are doing really well with the subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. We want to hit 7,000, and with your help, we can get there. If you hit like, subscribe, and notification, you'll be sure to get notified of any new content that comes up. Thank you so much for doing that. So first, let's get a myth out of the way. The mono, it is not a fold down. There was some talk around the internet, oh, it's a fold down. They weren't recording mono in 1959. They had abandoned that. And that's not the case for this album. Kevin Gray himself confirmed that it's a true mono tape. So there's a true mono tape, a true stereo tape. The players on this album, this is, even to someone who is not deeply into jazz, you will recognize all of these names. Herbie Mann on flute, Pepper Adams on baritone sax, Bill Evans on piano, Kenny Burrell on guitar, Paul Chambers on bass, Philly Joe Jones on drums, Connie Kay on drums as well on a couple of things. I mean, that is star power lineup. So you have star power lineup, you have 1959 early stereo and mono, a wonderful selection of ballads, and seems Chet is at the top of his form as well. A beautiful jacket is the icing on the cake. I just love this image on the cover. It's so beautiful. Between the mono and the stereo, one has a little bit of a green tint, the mono, and this one is a little more brown and a little lighter. The only difference in the cover really is the type for stereo. I've been listening to both. I had to have both because it's my favorite late night listen. And I was very curious about how the mono sounded. To put it in a nutshell, the stereo is early stereo. It does have some of the wide separation of early stereo. So you'll hear Bill Evans and Chet oftentimes in the far left channel. Philly Joe Jones is always over on the right. And Pepper Adams is sort of somewhere in the middle. I couldn't really detect a really clear place for him, but on the stereo, and the bass is also is basically in the middle, I thought. But on the stereo, the benefits of the stereo, besides hearing everything clearly separated, is the instruments seem to have a little more breathing room and more realism. That's a good thing. On the mono, you get the benefit of a more cohesive sounding unit, where the stereo sounds like people are spread out kind of far and not really playing together. On the mono, it's got some depth and detail in that way. It's got that mono layering kind of thing going on, but you get a sense of people playing off each other in more of a unit, and that's the difference. The stereo just has that little extra brilliance, but a little less cohesiveness, whereas the mono is cohesive and really gives you a picture of a band playing together. Is there a preference? If you prefer instrumental clarity and tonality and hearing individual lines in their own space, maybe the stereo. I was perfectly happy with the stereo. And when this mono came up, I was really questioning whether I needed to get it. But the mono presents it a little differently and is just as valid. I can see someone preferring one or the other, and they're both perfectly valid. Do you need both? I don't think so. I really don't think so. For me, it's a favorite album, so I did want to have both, and I was able to grab the new Record Store Day one the day after it went on sale. I don't go to Record Store Day and stand in line. I got it the next day through Mike at the In-Groove, so he sent me a copy, and it was, $32 or something like that. A really good price. Already it's gone, so I feel fortunate to have it. I like having both, and it's a favorite of mine, so there's no way I'm gonna not get that mono as well. I have a mono switch on my Modrite, so I can play these that way. If you have a mono cartridge, you may have even better results. I'm not sure about that. I think these are cut with a stereo head, even though the signal may be mono. So I'm not sure how that works. I'm not deeply into that part of the hobby as far as switching tone arms and having a mono cartridge. I like the convenience of having the switch and going back and forth that way. But I've enjoyed both of these. I think they're stellar releases. The mono has a blue label. The other one, the stereo, has a black label. They're pressed at RTI. They were both nearly perfect. I had one little tick in the mono, but it's not enough to get a return, even if I could exchange it. It's minor. It's like 3 ticks, and I don't want to be too crazy about that with an album that's going to be so hard to get. But yeah, I think I can't answer this for you. This is a personal judgment. I can say that Chet belongs in everyone's jazz library, and whether you get mono or stereo, you're going to be thrilled with this beautiful, lyrical, late-night album that just is stunning. Just beautifully done, beautifully performed and recorded, pressed and packaged. The package is great, by the way. These are Stoughton style, if not Stoughton, glossy single jackets, and they're heavy. The reproduction is excellent. The labels are great. The records are flat. It's a win. It's a win-win. So that's it for today on Chet from 1959, a classic album that you got to have in your collection. So thank you for watching and tuning in. I am Scott for the Pressing Matters. Have a great day.